Hi everyone. We hope you are in good shape. Your subscription is our pleasure. Today's topic: 7 stages to diminishing stomach fat and keeping a sound waist. And 7 ways to make fitness fun. 7 stages to lessening stomach fat and keeping a sound waist. Everybody has stomach fat, even somebody with washboard abs. However, in case you're overweight, you might be conveying additional paunch fat. It's imperative to figure out how to diminish stomach fat on the grounds that having a lot of can prompt it conforming to your inward organs. This sort of fat, known as instinctive fat, can build your danger of creating type 2 diabetes, coronary illness, hypertension, and a few kinds of disease, including bosom malignancy. In case you're overweight, there is a decent possibility that you might be conveying additional tummy fat, a reality that occasionally starts to not just cosmetically change the manner in which we look in the mirror, yet in addition the expansion of additional creeps around your stomach can be a pointer of your inner well-being. The kind of fat that an individual stores around their stomach locale is known as instinctive fat. Instinctive fat, once in a while known as dynamic fat, is muscle-to-fat ratio that is put away inside the stomach pit and is in this way put away around various significant inner organs, for example, the liver, pancreas, and digestion tracts. As instinctive fat keeps on developing, your inner organ cycles will start to be less viable, as this sort of fat will start to conform to these fundamental organs, at last causing broad medical problems to emerge. Exploration has demonstrated that this kind of fat plays a particular and possibly hazardous job in influencing how our chemicals work, just as how well our interior organs work. As these medical problems start to essentially influence your personal satisfaction and generally speaking well-being, the admonition indications of possibly genuine entanglements up to and including dangerous issues from truly influenced organs. Thus, just as a score of many related medical problems that could emerge out of putting away an abundance of visceral fat, it is profoundly critical to figure out how to, and actualize an arrangement to lessen stomach fat. There are numerous approaches to achieve this objective. Anyway, eating right, working out, and making a move to get thinner are unimaginably significant in the battle against stomach fat. 1. Shed pounds. Albeit stomach fat can be hard to explicitly target, losing generally speaking muscle-to-fat ratio can help decrease this specific sort. Indeed, when you're getting thinner, gut fat is regularly among the main sorts to go. Clearly, most occasions getting more fit prompts better generally speaking well-being, particularly while thinking about the perils of conveying additional load in the stomach area. In spite of the fact that there are more outrageous careful techniques that can be attempted to quickly decrease the fat in your stomach area, there are other successful methodologies that you can participate in without going under the blade to control and lessen the instinctive fat that is so risky to your body. There are numerous blends of exercises, way-of-life decisions, and diets that can help you on your weight reduction venture, yet for wiping out stomach fat, there are a couple of demonstrated techniques that can help you start to live better, feel good, and at last lessen the measure of fat you convey in the midriff. 2. Eat more fiber. Individuals who increment the measure of dissolvable fiber they gobble each day develop less instinctive fat over the long haul than individuals who eat less fiber. The change doesn't need to be gigantic, as adding simply a large portion of a cup of pinto beans or a cup of green peas to your everyday diet can give you enough fiber to ensure against this sort of fat. Eat a well-balanced diet while thinking about the most ideal approach to get in shape. Practice isn't the lone fixing to better well-being. What goes into your body is by numerous records similarly as, if not a higher priority than simply fending off the calories that you are burning through. Naturally, it's not difficult to feel that eating less food is the appropriate response. In any case, eating and drinking the correct things in the perfect sums is a critical factor in losing instinctive fat and weight when all is said and done. An eating regimen that is set in eating entire grains, new foods grown from the ground, and lean protein is extraordinarily essential to finding a fair eating routine. Similarly as significant as the measure of these nourishments you burn through during the day, and at what times. A decent dependable guideline is to keep your dinners little yet routinely for the duration of the day and make an effort not to eat anything after the early night so your body gets an opportunity to consume a portion of the calories prior to resting each night. Likewise, it is critical to cut however much added sugar from your food decisions as could be expected. Sweet nourishments, pastries, pop, and even liquor contain kinds of sugar that tend to be immediately consumed by the body, rapidly winding up as overabundance instinctive fat, particularly on the off chance that you can't quickly practice those sorts of calories away. 3. Get a lot of protein. As you age, your body begins to deliver more insulin, a chemical that can make your body store fat, particularly around your mid-region. A high-protein diet can help ensure against the insulin obstruction that makes your body produce a greater amount of this chemical. Adding more protein to your eating routine can assist you with losing generally weight notwithstanding gut fat. 4. Get more oxygen-consuming activity. Crunches and sit-ups most likely strike a chord first for disposing of stomach fat, yet since zeroing in on a specific piece of the body doesn't actually target explicit regions of fat, vigorous exercise is more compelling. Anything that expands your pulse, for example, swimming, cycling, running or lively strolling, can help consume stomach fat. Activities for waist weight reduction. Instinctive fat starts to contract when you start to take part in standard perseverance works out. In spite of the fact that crunches and sit-ups presumably strike a chord first for disposing of paunch fat, nonetheless, this sort of activity centers around a specific piece of the body that doesn't actually target explicit regions of fat. At the point when you start to begin vigorous activities, for example, running, swimming, trekking, or paddling, your pulse will get raised for a supported measure of time, calling for more energy to be utilized. Fat all in all is basically stockpiling for unused energy in caloric structure. As your pulse increments, so will the requirement for extra energy to be burned through. One of the principal puts the body taps for additional energy is stomach fat because of its area and generally simple cycle of getting to it. Anything that builds your pulse, in any event, going for a lively stroll, can help consume stomach fat. The key is to truly drive yourself to start to perspire and keep on doing as such for an all-inclusive time frame. The more you can proceed, the more calories you will burn through, implying that the instinctive fat will be utilized as the hotspot for this energy. As energy is utilized, the fat will separate, and you will see the consequences of your diligent effort as you come. Step tallying, weight following, and in any event, estimating your midsection, hips, and neck can be acceptable markers of your weight loss venture. It is exceptionally proposed by weight reduction specialists and dietitians that you practice no under 30 an hour daily to shrivel your midriff. In this way, remember the work you are placing into your excursion, and utilize these instruments to keep you on target. 5. Lessen pressure. At the point when you're under pressure, your body delivers more cortisol, a chemical that is connected to stomach fat. Regardless of whether you set aside more effort for yourself and the exercises that you appreciate or attempt pressure busters like yoga or reflection, decreasing pressure can assist you with diminishing stomach fat. 6. Eat more solid fats. Soaked fats, the carring found in meat and spread, can make you pack on more stomach fat than polyunsaturated fats. Found in food sources, for example, salmon, nuts and seeds, polyunsaturated fats are otherwise called sound fats and can help you fabricate muscle and lessen muscle-to-fat ratio. 7. Get enough rest. On the off chance that you get 5 hours of rest or less consistently, your body has expanded degrees of instinctive fat, and in the event that you awaken and head to sleep simultaneously every evening, you're probably going to have lower levels of muscle-to-fat ratio. Getting enough rest and keeping a reliable rest timetable ought to be a need since it can influence your stomach fat, however your general weight and well-being. A decent principle to pass by is to set a standard dosing plan where you awaken and hit the sack simultaneously every evening. This will improve the probability of your body getting familiar with an ordinary fat-consuming cycle and will help manage your digestion, at last prompting clutching lower levels of muscle-to-fat ratio. Getting enough rest and keeping a predictable rest timetable ought to be a need since it can influence your stomach fat as well as your general weight and well-being.
7 ways to make fitness fun.
7 ways to make fitness fun. Exercise doesn't need to feel like an errand. Infuse something exceptional into your wellness meetings with these 7 different ways to make wellness fun. 1. Add some variety to your activities. Doing a similar exercise meetings each time will rapidly get exhausting, and fatigue doesn't do much for your inspiration. The appropriate response is self-evident: attempt and blend it up by changing it up. By this, it doesn't imply that you need to change movement totally. It very well may be that you supplant a since quite a while ago run with a stretch or fartlek meetings. All things considered, it is possible that what you need is to truly require is an altogether extraordinary movement, so why not trade an exercise center meeting for a salsa class or take a dip rather than one more run? 2. Get social. One method of mitigating fatigue is to practice with a companion or a gathering. Attempt and take a companion with you on your next run, get them to go along with you at a wellness class, or simply request that they go along with you on a relaxed walk. On the off chance that you are deficient in the dynamic companions division, at that point joining a club is the most ideal approach to locate some similarly invested exercisers so you can give a lift to your wellness as well as your public activity. 3. Change the scene. Exercise doesn't need to include unlimited hours inside in the rec center. Utilize various areas, for example, practicing outside when the climate is acceptable or terrible in the event that you are courageous. Go for a run rough terrain, appreciate a decent long climb or bicycle ride, practice in your own back nursery, or on the off chance that you can't pull yourself away from the TV, you could even exercise while viewing your #1 TV shows. A difference in scene acts like an interruption so you won't see how hard you are functioning. 4. Do exercise to your liking. Exercise can be a pound, particularly when you are accomplishing something that you outrageously don't care for. On the off chance that going to the rec center and taking out significantly more than one rep is simply not working for you, why not discover an activity technique that truly advances to you? Exercise doesn't need to be based around rec center exercises, so why search for options, for example, a wellness class or even join a group to play a particular game? Consider what your objectives are, regardless of whether it is improve wellness, to contend, acquire capability in a pursuit, or for no particular reason. Attempt whatever number various methods of practicing as could reasonably be expected so you discover one that you are really anticipate doing. 5. Get some new gear. Working out in the standard, worn-out stuff won't do much for your inspiration, so why not treat yourself to some new stuff? Another preparation top, some new mentors, a pleasant bit of tech so you can screen your advancement, would all be able to amount to additional inspiration as you'll be quick to evaluate your new stuff. You could likewise deal with a prize premise so you give yourself a treat as some new pack at whatever point you accomplish something towards your wellness or different objectives. 6. Remember the games from childhood. Placing a component of fun into practice is indispensable to keep your advantage, and there's nothing similar to remembering a portion of the rounds of your adolescence to place a pleasant component into things. Various rec centers and wellness focuses have presented classes, for example, hula hooping, cheerobics, cheerleading joined with high-impact exercise, and dance-propelled exercises to exploit the interest for no particular reason exercises. In the event that returning to your youth days out in the open is excessively much for you, you could generally get yourself a hoola band, hop rope, or even a trampoline to have an energetic and agreeable exercise. 7. Exercise to your favorite playlists. Set up a playlist of your top tunes to give you the lift you need during an exercise. Tuning into music while you practice is an incredible interruption and makes you less mindful of the effort you are under while working out. An investigation from Brunel University distinguished that tuning in to music can help practice perseverance just as seen happiness regarding it. Furthermore, music during an exercise can diminish the impression of how hard you are functioning for moderate exercisers. Your subscription is our pleasure.